Okay. So will I ask in English atau di bahasa Indonesia?
Both. If you want me to answer in English, then let's set this conversation in English then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because a couple of my friends and teachers will watch this, jadi mungkin we can talk in English, lebih global, lebih considerate kepada orang yang menonton.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So the first question, let's start off with the most important thing today, the COVID-19 pandemic. How is the situation in Poland right now?
Well, it's not as it's not. I think it's even worse here than Indonesia. Actually, now Poland is experiencing a second wave of COVID. Since mid-November, the number was really increasing in like substantially. I remember on the day when I was flying back to Jakarta, it reached like over 20,000 a day. 20,000 people get infected a day in November, mid-November. Now, the past week, 2 weeks, the number has been very fluctuative between like 11,000 to 7,000. Yesterday, actually, it's actually because it really depends on the day. The numbers recorded on Monday would be the lowest because the people tested for COVID during the weekend really low, lower than weekdays. So usually numbers for Monday is low. Like yesterday, it was only like 3,000 if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. Yeah, it's like yesterday it was like 3,000, but the day before it was 7,000 and sometimes get 10,000. So it's really fluctuative. And the number of people died also, quite high compared to Indonesia. So it's not better than Indonesia in Poland. Stores and malls are closed. Only a restaurant open and grocery stores open. Restaurant and cafes open, but only for takeaway. So it's very grim, here in winter, it's very cold, and you cannot, like go to restaurant or hang out with, like your family or have something, fun to do outside. But it's really, kind of like depressing here. Except the past 3 days we have snow, so it's like exciting. So that's the situation in Poland at the moment.
How did the people in Poland fully implement the regulations created by the Poland government, like
Well, no,
simple as wearing mask?
no. Well, wearing mask. If you are in the mall, for instance, or in the grocery stores, you have to wear it. Otherwise, you are not allowed to get in. But outside, it's now in the park. You don't have to wear any mask as long as there is a distance between you and other people. Well, it's the same as in like Indonesia. People also here tend to kind of like how do you say it? Not really fully implemented. Young people, especially, they take it lightly, and especially now, I think the increase of number in November, in December as well, because there were a lot of activities before this, the restriction where people hang out and then they don't really, like observe the health protocol. So I think it is the same as everywhere. Some people believe in COVID. Some people thinks like, oh, it's a man-made
Conspiracy.
issues. It's not really exists. So it's the same. But of course here, I think it's also the older the people, they tend to observe more rather than the younger generation. So I think it's the same everywhere.
Okay, so looking at the pandemic itself, has Indonesia had a cooperation, let's say, helping with the PPE, the protective equipment, masks, vaccines? Do Indonesia really work together closely with Poland on this health crisis?
Oh yeah, for sure. Minister of Foreign Affairs worked really hard in securing first the supply of vaccine. No, I think we are number three or number four globally in terms of country who secured the most vaccine, a number of vaccine. So that's one thing. And then second, we also um, like have cooperation with some of the what is it cooperation, multilateral cooperation for to secure this vaccine, but as well as to have enough gear, like like how do you say it, the PPE, right? So yeah, now I think we also at the same time, we also have a capacity to produce them as well. While having some imports, we are also producing them. And then the material, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs managed to secure the standard for the material of PPE. So, like the one that we produce in Indonesia reach meet the international standard. So yeah, of course, we did it.
Wow, that's quite an achievement for our country. Uh,
Yes.
what exactly is the most striking or powerful part or sector of our diplomacy with Poland?
With Poland, well, now our priorities, the Indonesian government priorities is on economy, especially on the economic recovery after the COVID crisis. So we've been trying to get the cooperation in the economy in terms of trade for market access for our products, as well as to for investment, be it inbound or outbound investment. So economy is the first, of course, first priority sector. But at the same time, we are also, in social culture, we are also nurturing the cooperation very closely, mostly because, when you want the Indonesian product to be to have a market, for instance, we have to also um, spread the awareness about and the knowledge about Indonesia. Okay, so that's why while doing this, we are doing it in a comprehensive way. That's why we are doing it trade, tourism, investment promotion. We usually bundled in a cultural what is cultural promotion. So we are you know I think if you are asking about one specific sectors, I wouldn't say that we have a highest priority among uh, economy, social culture, and politics, but it's going into tandem. Like
Uh,
it's linked to each other. For instance, in politics, we have a good relation with Poland. We in multilateral level, we always share common interests. We support each other's common values in multilateral platform. Like for instance, both Indonesia and Poland were member of Security Council 2 years ago, overlapping 1 year. And then now both countries are a member of Human Rights Commission in Geneva. So we share common interests, we share values on international issues, most international issues, and this is on political sphere. And with the good relation in politics, it also brings good impact on the relation of economic, because good relation in politics, a good base, foundation for a more thriving relation in economic. And then, of course, as I mentioned, it's linked to each other. When people know more about Indonesia, they want to know about more Indonesia, they want to go to Indonesia. And so more people come to Indonesia, which means like tourism relations also on the rise. So we are using cultural aspect to promote Indonesia, because, like for instance, if we have trade exhibition, for instance, usually we also have some corner to show like to have an Indonesian performance, Indonesian traditional dance, because this will take people to come to our booth. So this all are comprehensive way in promoting Indonesia political, cultural, economic, and tourism as well.
Okay.
Okay.
What exactly did the embassy in Poland have done towards promoting our culture? Because the people, the foreigners, they only see Indonesia as Bali, as a batik, Bali. That's it. But we have more than that, and all of them are very great and amazing. What attempts has did the embassy already tried in Poland?
Well, we've done quite a number of activities in promoting Indonesia. Like we have like cultural performance. We have fashion shows. Not only in Warsaw, we also have fashion show in Krakow. Krakow we could say like the culture center of Poland. And then we also do some photo exhibition, and about the photo exhibition, mainly about the harmony in diversity, where we show how different religion, people with different religion background, they live each other peacefully and harmoniously. And then we also do, promotion, physical, like for instance, we have this cultural performance. We also do promotion on TV. We have culinary, what is it, promotion on TV. I get interviewed quite a number of time on TV, as well as on a newspaper and magazine. So we do every channel to promote Indonesia, and also through our social media. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, as well as TikTok now. So we do every venue to every channel, every means to promote Indonesia, so that more people knows about what really is Indonesia. That Indonesia not merely Bali. That we have like 17,000, almost 17,000 islands. That what usually my favorite things to say is that I compare Indonesia, because I think not many people in Poland know that Indonesia is a big country. I always tell them that Indonesia from east to west is the same like from Moscow to London. With that perspective, they would understand that we are a big country. And then I also try to create create the image that Indonesia is not far away, because there is a mental block that Indonesia is far away. If you have that kind of mental block, you don't want to go to Indonesia because it's far. You are not interested in Indonesia because it's far away country in nowhere. So I always said, it's actually flying from Warsaw to Indonesia is almost the same as flying from Warsaw. Actually, shorter than flying from Warsaw to LA. For them there, because here in Poland, most Polish are really American, oriented. They look America as something that they like, or they look up to. So that's why I always put it in perspective that Indonesia is not far. If there is direct flight, it would be around 13 and a half hours in direct flight.